So we are heading toward the last stage of the day, and I have the privilege here to call to those two young activist students that actually initiate the whole day. And I'm assuming you know them, but I'm going to present them very briefly. Moshe Schwartzberg. Moshe Schwartzberg is a true Zionist. All the way through school, early on in his life, he wanted to make a change and to protect people. A huge inspiration in his life was for Ari Fuld, Zichrono Livracha, who taught him constantly to be vigilant and constantly ready work for Israel. Moshe and Azi decided in the 11th grade to work on a podcast to respond a barrage to rocket from Hamas, and have since constantly worked to combat anti-Semitism. And his partner, Azi Fine, I'm going to say in the last opportunity, Mazal Tov Azi. Azi Fine is soon going into the army, where he's searching to excel. Azi has never been one on the back down from a fight for what is right, and he will certainly not back down from defending his country. Azi is currently in Mechina in Judea, where he prepares diligently for his draft. He started the podcast along with Moshe. He came up with the idea for this event, as well as driving us both to do it. This event is Azi's creation, and doubtless is deserved credit for it. Azi is committed and has been for years to fighting hate. So just one last word. I will say that, guys, it's not clear. I'm working 20 years. Thanks God, I'm always having the privilege to work with youngsters, and I believe my position is to allow them. So I really, really saluting you both. I'm willing that the most important thing will be the follow-up that we'll do on the day after, with approaching more people, and we are going to work together for what we believe in. Please, guys.
I'd also like to point out that, in your words, if you knew we were 19 when we started, you would have run this very differently. Well, that's what he didn't tell you. Yeah, and? Okay, so I got a few words that I want to say, and hopefully Azi will say after me. I think we can all agree that anti-Semitism is on the rise. If we don't, we'll talk about that after, but let's just go with everyone agrees on that. I want to quote Herzl for a second, and then we'll move on. He writes in his book, A Jewish State, as in anti-Semitism, its cause is our excessive production of mediocre intellects. Beside the fact that mediocre intellects are just fun to say, it's also important. Because what he's saying is that we have too many people who don't really know what we're doing. The average person, if he encounters some sort of anti-Semitism online, in person, he won't really know how to interact with it, which we will be working on that right after this. But that is really important, and I think the reason why it's a lot harder to be fighting against anti-Semitism compared to being anti-Semitic is we need to do our research. Let's take an example. A little over a year ago, there was an explosion in Beirut. What happened there was devastating, and it took several hours for our side of the story to really have any information to talk about it. Within a matter of hours, probably even less, the social media platforms, everything was filled with videos and posts proving that Israel did it, with the missiles coming from all directions, showing that Israel blew up this place. When we couldn't really do much, prove that that wasn't us, because we didn't know the actual facts. So I think the most important thing is to start off with knowing your research, knowing the other side better than they know themselves. Another thing which I'll explain the definition for first is what's called the echo chamber. In short, the echo chamber is an online term for social media's way of keeping you on their platform. What they do is they only show you what you want to see. They only show you the facts and the information that will keep you on their platform. Because the second they show you something that doesn't align with your views, you'll get annoyed and you'll leave. So they do is they create basically an echo chamber where all you hear is what you want to hear, and then you keep scrolling, which is another thing we need to deal with. Because as of now, we post on Instagram, we post on Twitter, a great video, it gets 1,000 views, cool. But the average person in America and anywhere who doesn't really engage with this world won't actually see it because they're stuck in their chamber. The third and most important thing, which Azi and I have said this a million times on the podcast, is speak up and share. Where most people are too scared to actually say something on social media, to actually speak up if it's for they're scared about their job or how they'll be looked by in society or whatever the reason is. Too many people are scared to actually speak up. So three things that we need to do is we need to know how to research. We need to get to the people who aren't really looking for us, and we need to just do it. We need to just talk and share. Azi?